This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 24/7 Buf Fandemonium presents the K-Gun Report. I'm your host, Jarrod. Tonight joining me, we have Mr. Swank. Yo! And Mr. Scott with his Josh Jags in the background.
There they are. Hey-o!
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to be here tonight. It's something that we've been looking forward for, I think, 25 years. Well, for the show for 24 episodes, but we're here. Buffalo Bills beat the Indianapolis Colts for the first time in the playoffs, home game in 25 years. Congratulations, Buffalo. Woo!
Hey.
How about that? This is
How about them Bills?
real fast. I know we're gonna get into all of this or whatever. This is my new Christmas Bills hat right here. I was pacing by my mantle when the old man Rivers Hail Mary. Oh God, I got so much for this. Anyway, when he let that thing go, and then Micah tomahawk chopped that thing. Dude, I spiked my hat. I was walking around like I just bench pressed 30,000 pounds. I can't do that. Just like, oh, it was like the most primal thing ever. It was beautiful.
You turned into Hulk real quick, huh? Happy
Yeah.
Hulk.
Happy Hulk.
But Hyde didn't just swat the ball. He flew about 6 yards, levitated, and then put the ball down
It
on
was
the
just
ground. I think he learned his lesson from the Cardinal game. Yeah, right.
With determination to swat that ball down because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not going to let that happen again.
Hell no.
No way. He learned from his mistakes. Usually, ladies and gentlemen, we have the injury updates and stats and everything on the tracker below, but tonight we have something different. We have what the weather's supposed to be like. Scott, what's the weather supposed to be like
Might be chilly.
right now?
Whoa!
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, look at the tracker below, follow that a little bit. It's pretty cool. And we're going to talk a little bit about our Colts and how we beat them up a little bit. Our Buffalo Bills dominated. I think they dominated personally. But then we're going to get to the Baltimore Ravens, who we found out we play. When did they play? They played, actually found out after Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. So,
Yeah.
And also that
Wow,
same
that's
night, guess
crazy.
what else we found out, which is pretty cool? That
What's
it's
that?
an 8:15 Saturday night game.
That's
Who would've
right.
thunk?
Prime time.
I love that.
Everybody that was complaining about a 1 o'clock Saturday game, you can be relieved that we have a primetime Saturday division playoff game.
I mean,
at home.
personally, I thought the two number ones that were remaining, obviously after the bye week, for them would have the 8 o'clock primetime games. I had that set in stone, so I'm surprised that the Bills got the 8:15 game. That's awesome.
It's perfect setup. You can do whatever you want on Saturday. Put the kids to bed, watch the game, and depending on how much you drink, because I know Bills Mafia likes to drink a little bit, you have all day Sunday to recover, which is awesome. We like to give out hays. We got a lot of them actually today. First team All-Pro. We haven't been able to get to this. Stephon Diggs, first team All-Pro. I think it's the first All-Pro wide receiver the Bills have ever had.
Yep.
Second team All-Pros. We got Josh Allen, Cole Beasley, Tre'Davious White, Andre Roberts. Congratulations, gentlemen.
All of them should be ranked 93 or higher in Madden next year. Just saying.
93. So there's no going in and adjusting your own ratings for this one.
Right.
Also, for Josh Allen's first quarterback, over 300 yards passing, above 70% completion rate, and 50 yards rushing. First quarterback to ever do that in the playoffs. And we got to give a little credit to our man, Babyface Bigfoot Bass.
Big boot,
for
big face
kicking
bass.
The longest field goal in postseason history by a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, 54 yards is pretty far, but he nailed a 46-yarder too. That young man has come a long way.
So there was
yeah.
a little bit of a debate: Blankenship for the Colts or Babyface Big Boot Bass for the Bills. Who was the better draft pick this year? Because the Colts picked Blankenship up, obviously, in the draft. I think the guy that's going into the divisional playoff game would probably rank a little higher now that he nailed that 54-yard field goal.
Yeah, man. I mean, he hasn't missed one in, 6 or 7, 8, 9 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Remember, the last one was a 60-plus yarder, too.
yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, real quick, Jared, could you remind everybody about the giveaway? Hell
You mean
yeah,
this guy
look
right
at
here?
you. Look at you.
I knew that's where you're going. Tonight's show, once again, we have a giveaway. This time, if you recognize that individual right there, Mr. Carlos Williams, running back, Buffalo Bills. He didn't last too long on the roster. He kind of has that, if the story's true, in the offseason, Scott, what did you say? His wife was with child and he ate along with her, which, hey, I feel his pain. So he only lasted 1 year. But this is our giveaway. Carlos Williams, you can see the autograph right there. I kind of got close to the mic. It's not authorized. There's no COA on this, but it was a product that History Hunter NY actually went to the signing and got it personally, and we have photos with him with it, so we know it's authentic, just not
There you
COA, which is all right. Not all collectors have to have that. And it's a
Yeah.
nice piece. He signed it with a nice silver pen. So that is the giveaway. And how do you get into the drawing? All you need to do is make a comment, and you're in. And then what we'll do is we'll let everybody know tomorrow, Wednesday, who the winner is.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the wheelie.
The wheelie.
All right, Swank, we already know I was with
Who's
Scott for this game against the Colts. We were in this man cave. Ups and downs, emotions were crazy all over the place. But you weren't with us. But we did get a little taste of how the game was. But what was your feels throughout the game?
Dude, it sounded like you were a little mad about that. I'm sorry.
No. That's just how it is.
We had masks and everything, Swank. We had masks
really?
and everything.
Yeah.
I was just running around the house coughing on everything. No, we had a little socially distanced deal going on here. I had my friends and their girlfriends / significant others here from one of the bands I play in, Dare I Say Is Lightning, and yeah, man, she was a roller coaster. I'll tell you that. I don't even know where to begin, really. If it wasn't a team I loved, I would be like, that was a really good game. You know, like that was just like a great game. It was close. Yeah. I wish that it was, 52-7 and the Bills blew them out and you could have like called the game over, kind of like the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game, like in the first quarter. But I don't know. I think that until this year, for the last 18 years maybe, you could have expected the Bills to lose that game.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't have that little thing to get them over the hump, even with the fumble that Williams recovered, which was amazing because that could have been catastrophic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in the years previous that play happens where we recover it. Usually in years prior we lose it because they just didn't have that extra little, I don't know, confidence, the process. It's something to do with the culture where it's like, even when they throw a pick or even when there's a turnover or even when the field position isn't in their favor, they can overcome that stuff now. And that is like one of my favorite parts about this 2020-2021 Buffalo Bills team. You just, as nerve-wracking as it is, it doesn't kill you like it has in years past, so I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of the game. I'm a little sad that Phillip Rivers had like literally one of the best games of his career because I dump all over him. Yeah, right.
I wanted to bring that up for you because he always has those untimely mistakes.
Yeah.
Always.
And he didn't have it. He didn't have it.
And our father was watching the game with us, and we just kept looking at each other. His little touch passes were perfectly thrown.
I know.
Like, you guys remember Chad Pennington for the Jets?
Yeah.
He used to just lob it. It was like watching him. He just lobbed it. The anticipation. I was waiting for an anticipation pick. Like they knew the ball was going to go up somewhere, so they would jump it, but they just never did.
Well, you know what's funny, and I didn't know this because my big gripe, and I'm sure a lot of the people that have hung with us for these 24 episodes know my animosity towards Phillip Rivers and Sam Darnold and whatever. And it's just that they're kind of like this big hyped up quarterback that's never done anything super significant aside from throwing a ton of yards and whatever, but in the playoffs, postseason, nothing. I did not realize that was Phillip Rivers' first ever wild card loss.
Right,
he never lost. He was 4-0 in the wild cards, and then he'd always lose at the next level. And I didn't hear that stat until right before the game, and I was just like, oh no. Like, oh my God, I jinxed everything. I did it, because that's the way us crazy Bills fans think, is that I did it somehow,
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, I'm glad that Phillip Rivers had a good game, and I'll tell you why. Because this team is good enough to play good teams. And that's it. That proved it. They had every single category of a stat they had us in. Passing yards, rushing yards, time of possession, first downs, everything. And you know what?
Time of possession and third down conversion was a crazy stat that was lopsided.
Yeah.
That we shouldn't have been on even in the game.
No. But guess what? We were. We did. I mean, and that's what's dangerous about this offense. Josh Allen, if he starts hitting it on all cylinders, he can make stuff happen. That Diggs bomb to the end zone, oh my God. Did you see the still of that? The defender had his hands over his face mask. It was like a no-look catch. Right. And it's just...
Muscle memory. Just put your hands up, and if you feel it, just grab it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was great, man. And like I said, that big defensive play on Micah, again, the Hail Murray, right? A team could have just took that as a devastating hit and just counted it out for the rest of the season. This team did not do that. they turned it around. They were like, this is never going to happen to us again. And it could have happened in the most pivotal part of the season, and it didn't. It got tomahawk chop, just like Snowman said.
I wonder how many people.
Hey, fans, let's not forget, Hyde didn't just have that one Hail Mary swat down in the first half. Remember that deep ball that was going to T.Y. Hilton? Late hands. Wide receivers have to have late hands. They got to put their hands out late to catch that ball so the defender can't read what they're doing to deflect the ball. And Micah Hyde, perfect timing, put out his hand on that deep ball. It would have been a touchdown and deflected that pass. That was a momentum changer as well. But to hit on real quick what Swank was saying about the games that we lose because we lose tail of the tape numbers like the third down conversion. I think the Bills were only 22%, Colts were 52%. And time of possession, Colts had the ball for 35 minutes, the Bills had the ball for 25 minutes. And on top of Rivers having no mistakes, you're right, Swank. Those are games that we should lose, that we're used to losing.
Those are games anybody would lose.
Anybody would lose. Yeah, no mistakes by the quarterback. And that time of possession, it's great. Those are games 99% of teams lose, and we found a way to win it.
All right, quick. I want whoever's watching tonight, don't be afraid to comment. Let us know what your favorite part of this Colts game was, and we'll share it.
Yeah, I threw that out there in the comments. We got a ton of people here tonight, and again, thank you so much for hanging out. I think we're about to hit a record of 20 viewers at once, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much. We had this one comment.
Since you're all watching,
we got Chris Christian wanted to know if the Carlos Williams was actually an autographed all-you-can-eat buffet ticket.
It might have been. But if you can read it right here, it was actually Hall of Fame Sports Collectibles, 12 Orskansky Boulevard, Yorkville, New York. So it was an actual signing event. So, but
yep.
I see where you're going with that. So, guys, if the Colts played such an amazing game, right? What is the reasoning behind the Bills' victory? And I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days. Comes down to coaching. The fourth down, I think the Bills had inside the 5-yard line 3 stops. 4 if you include the missed, or no, 3, 2 4 and outs, and the third one would be a missed field goal. Mm-hmm. So we love Frank Reich. He's done wonderful things for us, but he made a couple mistakes coaching, and that's what allowed our Bills to essentially win 27-24, because if they score even field goals while they're in there, that's 9 points.
So forgive me for saying this quote wrong, but I know Deion Sanders always said big players make big plays at big times or something. It's something like that, right? And you ask what were a couple of the big things that happened in the game, why we're still in it. You're saying coaching. Our rookie, big player, Gabriel Davis, on the same drive, 2 toe drag swags, and they were dotting the I and crossing the T on those 2 passes, and those were huge. He turned himself into a legit. I'm not gonna say number 1 because Diggs is there, number 2 Beasley's there, but he is something else. I'm telling you, for a rookie.
Back to back, man, back to back. I thought there was no way that first one was in bounds. Yeah. No way. I was just like, great effort.
Swank, I was actually yelling at the TV because Scott and my dad were like, I don't think that's a catch. And when they did this still frame by the ground, I was like, I see green. That's a catch. And sure enough,
wow,
we got it.
Yeah.
You know what that does? It's not only a confidence booster for Mr. Davis, but it opens the field a little bit wider for Josh Allen to throw the ball, because now he knows he's got that tall receiver who can toe drag swag that sideline.
Yeah, you can throw the ball 2 yards out of bounds, and the wide receiver can still come up with it.
Yep.
Confidence booster for both. It's awesome.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna say, along with the coaching and like you said, big players make big plays. Josh Allen's game has been downplayed. He played out of his mind. He played so well. Compare it to last year in Houston. I wish we had that game back to play again with this team. He over 300 yards, 2 TDs and a rushing TD, no turnovers. I mean, aside from that sack, fumble, not loss of possession play, I mean, he played almost as flawless as Phillip Rivers. He just did enough to win on his side. And we're used to him throwing such monster games now that people are like, it was just a little lackluster. This is the NFL, man. Like, games are going to be close, especially in the playoffs. So, I mean, let it be. Let it sit and enjoy it, because your boy Josh did everything he possibly could to win that game, and he did. So,
Josh Allen, 26 for 35, 324, 2 touchdowns. He threw it to 6 different wide receivers. Our receiving leaders, Diggs had a big game, 6 for 128 yards, 1 touchdown. Beasley, 7 catches, 57 yards. He played the whole game hurt. Let's see here, 7 receptions by our running backs, which is awesome. Then you have Gabe Davis, 4 for 85, 2 toe drag swags.
There you
go.
This is everything together. The rushing kind of lacked a little bit. Singletary 3 for 21, 7 yards per carry. Moss, who unfortunately we lost for the remainder of the season, 7 for 21 for 3 yards. And then this game, a little bit different than the ending of the regular season. Allen had quite a bit of running plays. What do you guys think of that? Scott, I'll start with you. What do you think about all those calls that Allen had this past week?
I think half of them were either an audible or call himself. That big one that when they're inside the 20, took it all the way down to the 5. You can hear him yell, open, 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 or something like that. And that basically meant that the box was wide open for him, the quarterback, keep it. And he gained quite a bit of yards on that play. I think it's playoff wild card. We know what happened last year. I think Dable, me and Swank, and you always talk about, sometimes he tries to be a little smarter, thinks that he's smarter than he's trying to outsmart the other coaches. And I think maybe a little case of that. But we got a playoff win, so I think he can kind of pull back the reins a little bit on those quarterback keeper calls.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get a little bit too cute, and I disagree. I think they were design calls. I don't think stuff broke down to where Josh wanted to run it as much.
Right. Well, he had 11 rushes, so
yeah, I know, but I think it was a lot of Dable, and I think actually that goal line one, the RPO to Knox, he wanted to keep that, but that is just a heads up play. Yes. I mean, I'm sure it was an RPO. He was standing in the end zone by himself. It was, but Josh had already committed to running. Like, he pulled it down, and he was trying to do it, and to make that kind of athletic, crazy heads up play. That's amazing. The other quick thing I wanted to say about the win, the other thing that happened was, again, took a stud running back, and he got some of his yards, but he didn't break 100, and that fool had, 230 last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, quite a bit of rushing yards.
He's the Bills' defense, for whatever you want to say about their run D, has been very good at taking superstar running backs out of the game. If you look at Las Vegas, if you look at Tennessee, they do a good job of stomping out these heavy running backs. That gives me a little bit of faith going into this weekend too.
Well, Swank, what they've been doing is the unsung heroes in the running game is Poyer and Hyde. When they do break, well, I'm saying when they do break the long ball, our safeties are at least cutting them off so they can't take the sideline all the way to the end zone.
Gotcha.
And you're taking a 60-yard run and knocking it down to, it's still a 40-yard run, but that extra 20 yards can put them in field goal range, knock them out of field goal range, make a longer field goal. So that pursuit that our safeties have on those deep runs is what's saving a lot of those rushing yards from tailing them up on the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so the Colts did not punt once. Which was probably the most frustrating part because we felt like the Colts were just driving all day long. Milano led the way with 11 tackles. Poyer and Edmonds had 9. We had no sacks. We had no interceptions. But we had, and this has been kind of true for the last couple weeks of the regular season, we have this defense. It's hard to tell what we have, right? I think it's like a bend but don't break. Let's let them make the mistake. Hey, I think it came up with something there. Bend but don't break. Let's wait for a mistake.
You're the Limerick king.
Yeah, so they bent the
Ontologist.
And when it came down that they had to snap it down and get it, they got it. When that's what you can pull from there. And I don't know. When we get to the Baltimore game, we'll talk a little bit more what we think the strategy is going to be. But it's if this is how the defense is going, Frazier, it's working. So you guys want to talk about? We talked a little bit about our special teams. You guys want to talk a little bit more about our defense before we go special teams quick?
Yeah, I was just hoping for a couple more sacks for a quarterback that's not very mobile. 0 sacks in the game. I know Addison and Hughes had the week off prior. I think I give a lot of Rivers success. I give a lot of that due to lack of defensive pressure up front.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, man. That and, old Phil was getting it out pretty quick there, and I don't know. They had a decent game plan called against us. How the hell their tight ends were getting open, and I know that's one.
Tight ends.
Yeah, I know that's one of those things that the Colts like to do: throw to running backs, throw to tight ends. That's like a huge chunk of their offense. But I just couldn't. There were some of them where I was like, man. And that one blown coverage TD where Milano just looked lost and pissed. That was a little disheartening. That stuff's gonna happen, but hopefully he uses that for fuel going into this week. Again, I mean, I thought it was they're a great football team. The Colts are a great football team, and the defense did enough, and I'm okay with it. Yeah, I want them to swamp them out. I want them to sack them every other play. I want 4 picks every game, but the reality is that's not going to happen every single game.
Right.
So maybe now that you got that first one under your belt and you're going into next week, you're a little more comfortable. You know what to expect. Hopefully that's what it was. We had somebody asking if we thought that maybe they held back to disguise some calls and stuff like that. I hope not, man. This is
in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, man. It's sudden death. You got to win it all. I'd put everything you got out there every single week.
I wouldn't hold anything back, and you wouldn't especially defensively, you wouldn't have to disguise anything because it's 2 totally different offenses and quarterbacks that we're playing.
Yeah.
Now
so
on the
I wouldn't think
offensive
that
side,
you'd have to disguise much.
On the offensive side, I kind of feel like they did hide a couple things personally. McKenzie wasn't in there quite at all. John Brown only had a couple passes thrown his way. So they ran Allen, like I said. I think they ran him to set up possibly something different this week, but that's a whole different story. Special team takeaways, guys. Bass 2 for 2, like we said earlier, with field goals, 3 for 3 for extra points. Bojo, 4 punts, 188, 47 average, 1 inside the 20. He had 1 boomer that went over 60 yards again. And in a game where we thought we were pinned down, Scott, do you by hand have the average starting position of each drive?
Not off the top of my head, but I remember you saying during the game when the stat came up, the Colts started the game, most of their drives right off at the 35, and the Bills were stuck at the 7.
Yep. So Bojo helped a little bit with that, with switching the field position, and then Roberts had below average game, I think, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, he was
He's
trying to
not pro.
make something happen there. I think actually what happened was the opposite of what we were thinking when we were talking about McKenzie's run back last week, and like, oh man, he's out there like licking his chops, wanting to get one, and a couple of those that he brought out, I was just like, they had him corralled every time. So
well, last year he came out and said sometimes he takes balls out that he shouldn't, just because he's trying to create a spark on the offense.
Yeah,
so,
and I get that.
I don't blame him.
The first quarter wasn't the place to do it, and even,
Right.
We were talking about like McKenzie. The reason he's not out there is because when he gets backed up near the goal line, his judgment's bad on whether to wave him off or not. And like it was like the first punt or whatever, or the first return, you waved him off and they got pinned right down, and it just seemed like that whole first half they had horrible starting position.
Right.
All right, guys. Our Buffalo Bills beat the Indianapolis Colts to head to the next round of the playoffs.
Hell yeah.
Before we move on, I got to give a hey out to the Bills Mafia who represented us at Bills Stadium this weekend. We heard you, and it looked like everyone was having a good time. You guys did such a great job that the game was deemed a great success, and they're allowing more fans in for this next game. So good job. We rock. Mafia rocks, that's for sure.
We actually had a question if any of us were able to score tickets for the game this weekend, and not me, no.
You have a buddy, though, that did, right?
Yeah, my buddy Brett. He has season tickets, and he was lucky enough to get called and scored 2 of them, so he's going to be in attendance, yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, represent us again, whoever's going. Do it up for all of us. Before we go on to the Baltimore Ravens, just a reminder, tonight is a giveaway. Carlos Williams, all you need to do is make a comment, and you are in. Also, we still have a lot of these bad boys left.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
No, put your address, personal message us in Facebook, with your address, and we'll send one out to you for free. You can put it right on your sticker or right on your car and represent.
Well, for free, that's crazy.
That's crazy. And as you can see, I'm taking a nice little sip. Scott already mentioned it earlier. Fairport, New York's
Iron Smoke,
bourbon whiskey, delicious.
Hell yeah. Hey, we got a lot of people commenting in. Thanks again so much, guys. Zach Ryan, this is the second time he's tried to get his question in. He wants to know how we're feeling about the Freeman signing.
It kind of tells us what the dynamic of this next game possibly is. I saw he was on the field. He's going to be wearing number 32. Yep, number 32. Due to the new COVID rules, he is eligible to play Saturday night. So if he passes COVID, he will play. He's one of those running backs who does better catching the ball in the backfield. So we're going to see what happens. And that's how TJ Yeldon is too. So it's going to be a different dynamic to see what we see gets activated for this game. We'll be able to tell kind of right away if Williams is up there with Singletary and one of the other guys, and it's probably going to be focused on the run. But if Yeldon's in there and Freeman's in there, you got to look for possibly them to be passing quite a bit. Yeah, and
I got into it with one of my buddies on the 24/7 group comments earlier about it. Yeldon had a case of the fumbles. I feel like he got a bad rap. That was 2 years ago.
Yes.
He's excellent at catching balls out of the backfield, and he's a tough guy. Plus, he's got like a 2-yard long neck. So if he puts it under his helmet, he could stretch it out and get that extra first down yardage.
Do you guys remember Merton Hanks, number 36, San Francisco 49ers? He had that long neck too.
Long neck.
Giraffely. Yeah. So. Personally, I know McDermott's already came out and said Singletary's he's the featured back this week.
Good.
As far as who's backing him up, Taiwan Jones is going to be in for special teams. If they're doing 2 more on top of that, I gotta think Williams probably makes it. That's what I want because he's the only power back you got out of all of them. Yeah. And then. Freeman's just got such an impressive resume. I know he's been quiet the last couple seasons after Atlanta and all that. I'd love to see him. He's got to have playoff experience too, because he was with that Falcons team that was getting in there pretty regular, So.
In 2015 and 2016, he was a Pro Bowler, 1,000-yard seasons for both seasons. In 15, he had 73 catches, and in 16, he had 54 catches. So he is a receiver out of the backfield. And, the Bills, with Taiwan Jones, Zach Moss, and Singletary, I think those are the only 3 running backs that they carried last week. So I think it's just the process of how things go. Somebody gets hurt, Antonio Williams bumps up and takes Moss's spot. Freeman will take Antonio Williams' spot on the practice squad. So it depends on what kind of game plan they want. If they do want to toss the ball out of the backfield a little more often this week, then you definitely got to think about Freeman coming in. But he's a shifty running back. He's a proven running back. Didn't do much for the New York Giants, but the Giants didn't have much to offer him. So we're getting a Pro Bowler on our practice squad. If anything, we'll learn.
Look at what Big Baller Bean is doing. Still got his extension matched up with McDermott, and the quality depth that he is signing to our practice squad. Did you ever think that we would live in a world where Kenny Stills and Freeman are on your practice squad going into the playoffs? That is insane depth, guys. I don't care what you think of those two as players, everybody in the comments. That is insane that you have 2 proven veterans just in the wings waiting in case somebody gets hurt. That's amazing management.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're willing to come here. That's
you're not going to pull someone up that has no game experience at all. You're pulling someone up that's been a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
You're pulling someone up that's played in multiple offenses with Kenny Stills, that knows the route tree and he's fast. If someone goes down, you've got someone to back them up just like that without skipping a beat.
Oh, it's going down.
All right, the Buffalo Bills are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens beat up on the Titans a little bit, 20-13. They stopped that big running back, Henry, which is always a great accomplishment if you can do that. He had over 2,000 yards rushing. So I know Baltimore's defense is very good. I think Josh Allen's quote is saying it's one of the best ones they'll face all year. So, yep, here we go. 8:15. Go ahead. What are you thinking?
I was just going to say really quick, dude. Again, last week, what I say, every single week we're playing the best defense in the league. It feels literally every single week, you know. That's why I was hoping that the Steelers would wait to lay an egg until this coming week. But, you know, you can't get everything you want.
Can't get everything. Can't get everything.
You can always get what you want.
Yeah, so like I said, I mentioned earlier in the show, right off the bat actually, 8:15, Saturday night football. The Buffalo Bills will have almost 7,000 people watching the game, and we're bringing in the Baltimore Ravens. I know we always say this every week. You have any worries, pros, or cons? And we always say worries with quotes. But Swank, I'd like to lead with you. What worries do you have from this Baltimore Ravens team?
Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I mean, you got to be worried about him. You got to be worried about that new running back that they got back there who's just tearing it up.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins, the guy who supplanted Ingram to where Ingram was a healthy scratch this weekend. Did you know that? Street clothes. And you got Dobbins just running all over people. I'll say this. I have a ton of respect for this team. I did a little piece that I've been messing around with that'll probably come out sometime in the next week, but like it's all about mindset, you know. The mindset that we had going into last year's Baltimore game is not the same mindset that we have going into this one. This year we have Stephon Diggs, you know. Our defense is on the uptick. People have started to figure out Lamar. Their defense is also on the uptick. There's a lot of differences, and so I don't want people to just be like, "Here we go again," because I think this game is going to be a lot closer than that. So yeah, Lamar, a huge worry. The thing that frustrates me about that team is that you know what they're doing. They don't hide it. There's no motion. There's nothing. If they're going to run it to the right, they're running it to the right. And they're going to put it right in your face because they're bigger, they're physical, they're more athletic. And maybe he dishes it off to the running back or maybe he keeps it. That's it, you know. Those kind of things bother me and worry me if people aren't sticking to their assignments. I think the Bills drew up a great game plan last year. I think that they corralled Lamar. I think that they put out the blueprint for the rest of the league to do it the rest of the season. So you can't discount the brilliant mind that is Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier and all that. I think that they'll be prepared, and I think if the players can execute, we should be okay. You know, the other side of the coin is that defense. You know, their front is ridiculous. Their linebackers are ridiculous. I know people have a lot of respect for their corners. I don't as much. I think Diggs can get open, and I think he'll prove it as the #1 wide receiver in the league. I also think Beasley is going to get open. I'd like to see a lot of 4 wide receiver sets against them.
Get them all out there. Oh, yeah. You know? Can you imagine that? Gabriel Davis, Brown, Beasley, and Diggs.
Yeah. Who do you cover?
And then you have somebody in the back. Oh, man.
Well,
yeah,
and if
you
got
cover them all.
Those quick crossers with Bees or Knox or whoever, like, you can get separation that way too. The same way with the running game, I feel like. If you're just doing those quick 2-step, 3-step drops, it's coming out under 2.5 seconds. They got to guard against that. You know, that's the way.
Does Jackson do that?
No.
Or we're talking about Allen?
I'm talking about Allen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about Allen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, on the other side of that, Jackson, I mean, I'll get in a shootout with him all day. You know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If the Bills can come up with some big 3-and-outs and maybe a defensive touchdown, that would be huge. But that's what we've been saying all year is that the Bills' offense can score at will. You know what I mean? Anytime they can go down and get a touchdown in a minute and a half.
Yep.
And the Ravens cannot do that.
Right.
You know? So there you go. I guess that's the way I feel about everything.
Yeah, that's the main thing, right? We've been saying it from from day one is, yes, we're playing a defense, but gosh, do you see who we have on our offense?
Yeah.
You guys have to stop these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I'll
that's
start
going to
off.
be a huge task. Scott, what's up?
I'll start off with the offense because I think that's the easiest one to talk about. Marlon Humphrey, he's a Tillman product. You know what I mean? He's mastered that Tillman punch. He causes turnovers. And I think that's Swank, why people are so afraid of their secondaries, because they do create turnovers.
Yeah.
And I think that's something the Buffalo Bills have a good handle on as far as Diggs, Bees, Gabriel Davis. And I think the turnovers won't be an issue. They won't get as many as they usually do, which helps them win games, obviously. But you're right. They have to play Josh Allen, who's played a top 10 defense all year round, it seems like. And I think we're coming in pretty healthy other than the Moss not being there. The hard part is the part that concerns me, and Swank was kind of touching on it without saying it, responsibility. Those defensive ends can't overrush Lamar Jackson, get around the outside, let him scoot in between you. And those defensive tackles need to stay their ground and not create any pockets for Lamar to sneak up on. And
Scott, is this a game Trent Murphy's playing in?
No.
Well, I'll say something about that.
I do have a surprise, though, that's going to play today. That's going to play in this game.
I have something interesting about the Trent Murphy thing. I saw Sal Capaccio tweeted out something. I think it was Sal. If not, forgive me. But I'm pretty sure it was him. In containing Lamar last year, the top four people that were a big part of that were Star Latulippe, Jordan Phillips, Shaq Lawson, and Trent Murphy.
Yes. 3 of them are gone.
3 of them are gone, and 1 of them's been in and out.
Yep.
Right.
That I don't think that means anything. I'd still rather have Addison out there. I'd still rather have Ed Oliver out. You know what I mean? Harry.
Yep.
I think Harry's more crucial to the run block or run stopping than Trent Murphy is. But yeah, sorry. So you go ahead, because I got an idea for a guy too.
I did forget.
Sorry for interrupting, Scott. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, contain and responsibility. The defensive ends, don't overrun your assignment. Defensive tackles, don't give them a pocket that you need to collapse the pocket with the inside. And my key of the game is I don't know who's going to do it. They're going to have to spy Lamar, I think, and they're going to have to put someone else in the box. So I don't know if they're going to play 3 linebackers.
You know who's going to do it?
Milano?
Nope.
Darren Lee.
Nope.
Or Tremaine.
Scott's got Darren Lee.
I got Darren Lee being brought up, activated. And
I'll tell you what.
He runs a 4.440.
Yeah, that's great. This is exactly what you said about Russell Wilson, and who stepped up and stomped out Russell Wilson.
Klein.
That's
Okay,
what I'm
it's
saying.
because he just heads straight and he doesn't get juked out. He just runs after the guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
He doesn't need any responsibility.
Because the dude's he's just like a caveman.
Well, there you go, Swank. There you go.
Man, I
If-
love that take, man. I
if
didn't
you
even think
put
about
more-
AJ Klein. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
See, here I'm thinking you need speed to cover Jackson, right, with either Edmonds or Darren Lee. I mean, They got Darren Lee for a reason. I don't know why. Maybe just to fill the practice squad void. But Klein, a good concept behind that is if the defensive ends and our defensive tackles do contain and keep responsibility, then Klein can go in that gap, take the gap away from Lamar Jackson, and create the pressure and get the sacks.
And Klein will have fun.
That's
Gosh,
that's a see ball get ball kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like with him,
Right.
that's the role that he's in best.
He's not going to dance when he's breaking down for a tackle. He's going for your hips.
Yeah, and you know what?
Okay.
I want him to tackle him. He doesn't have to. He just has to slow him down a little bit, because that team is so good at attacking the ball once they see where it is. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But this was all your concept back at the Seattle game. Like you said this about Darren Lee when he first got signed, and that's exactly what they did. It just wasn't Darren Lee. It was AJ Klein.
Just wasn't Darren, right?
So, and I really think, he's been quiet for the last couple games. Probably because Milano's healthy and he's playing all out. But I don't know, man. I think that's the key. If you want to keep Milano free so he can cover, and you got Edmonds out there,
Swank, you're saying
caveman.
we're playing 3 linebackers instead of that nickel defense? Bring that extra linebacker, and that'll definitely help out with the run game.
We shall see.
Aside from Brown, who are you worried about wide receiver wise?
The tight end, Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
I'm worried about him.
And there's Edmonds, right? So
Right.
Edmonds or
Okay.
Milano. Yeah, I mean,
No, I like that though.
To me, I think it would make sense, because the whole game plan, right, is you got to make Lamar stay in the pocket and you got to make him throw it.
Right.
You know, and he's shown that he can do that with some success, but I don't think he can do it again the same way that Josh Allen can do it. You know,
he hasn't faced a Trey White, a Jordan Poyer, and Micah Hyde.
Yeah, that's exactly what Scott. You gotta, I think what you do is if you take that run game away and you make Jackson throw the ball, you know who our corners are and our safety is. That's not an easy task. Right. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what Frazier comes up with.
Yo, Josh,
I'm still hyped on that AJ Klein, man.
Josh Cook just wrote Caveman Klein. We gotta make T-shirts.
There you go. We'll come up with something.
Zach Ryan says put Edmonds on the spy. I think that could work too. He's definitely big enough to get him down. I'd question. I mean, I know he's fast, but I think Lamar could probably juke him just because he's so big. But
what Edmonds has is that he can spy and he doesn't have to drop back as far because he's so tall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they like to drop back so they can at least pass coverage anything over the middle and dink and dunk and swat the ball down. But with him being 6'6", 6'5", whatever he is, and lengthy arms, he doesn't have to drop back as far. He could be up a little forward. Nice. It'll be interesting. You know they got a game plan because they faced him last year. You know they've got something in their planned.
All right, guys, quick.
McDermott and Frazier aren't going to go into this game not knowing what they're going to get after.
I can't wait. I can't just, 8 o'clock. The only thing bad about 8 o'clock game is you have to wait all day, but it'll be worth it. Yeah. I know we did a poll last week of what jerseys we like to see being worn for the game against the Colts. Do we stick with the same jersey concept going in? Yeah. Does anybody have any favorites?
I mean, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good with them keeping it the same. Either way, whatever they wear, I don't care.
Yeah. Home playoff game, you wear blue up top.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good to me. I mean, whatever. I just they can wear kitchen aprons. It doesn't bother me. But
right.
I don't know. I'm also kind of, like I said, the only thing I'm superstitious about is the Bills. So I wouldn't be washing my socks. Nothing.
Nothing. Leave a comment. You get in for the drawing for this Carlos Williams, and we'll let you know who wins tomorrow night. Guys, it's that time of the show where we do our bold prediction and our score prediction for the game. Unless anybody has anything else they want to say about the game coming up. All right.
No, sir.
Scott.
Just take care of that run game and watch that tight end.
What is your score prediction and bold prediction, Scott?
I think Frazier and McDermott have a plan for Lamar Jackson. I'm looking at the running stats the last game, and one of the key stats that jump out at me are big runs. And that's a stat of 15 yards or more for a run. If you take away the 5 big runs that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens had, you take their average from like over 7 yards a carry down to a 4. So you take care of those big runs, you're taking care of Lamar Jackson and that run offense. So I think McDermott and Frazier will have an answer for that, whether it's spying or sending Caveman Klein after him. Our offense, we're going to score 20-plus points again. We're going to score 25-plus points again. I'm going 35 because I love that score, to 17. I think this will be we played the Colts, who were top 10 and everything. A lot of people don't give them credit for how good they were. They were really good. We're better than Colts, obviously. We're a lot better than the Ravens, I believe. So 35-17.
Wow.
All right.
Is that your bold statement? Is your bold prediction? We're a lot better than the Ravens?
My bold prediction, you ready for this? Antonio Williams gets 100 yards rushing.
Oh, man.
Oh, there you go. That is quite bold.
Scott has been on Williams' train ever since he came here and not even
August.
He was an unrestricted free agent.
Unrestricted rookie free agent.
Undrafted, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Williams. Challenge accepted. Get it.
Hey, he's got that chip on his shoulder, and he's a hard worker. So this will be the game. And
Swank, what's your score? What's your score and what's your bold?
My score is not quite as heavy-handed as Scotty's, and don't get me wrong, I hope you're 100% right. I'm going to say 27-17. Buffalo Bills, because we're in the playoffs, baby. Why not? And my bold prediction is going down along them Caveman Klein ways, and I'm going to say He's going to do a little cave painting that night of the 2 sacks that he has on Lamar Jackson.
There you
I
go.
like that.
I love that you brought that up because I did not even think once about Klein and how he did against Russell Wilson, and that's a game plan that worked, and that's a game plan that I think now that you said it can work. So I can't wait.
And Klein was on fire that game.
Makes me feel good, dude. You're the stat guy. It makes me feel good. Thanks.
What do you think, Jarrod?
What do I think? Well, we're rolling, and I think we're going to continue to roll. I mentioned to a lot of people throughout last week that personally, I thought the Indianapolis Colts were the 3rd toughest team in the playoffs in the AFC, behind Kansas City, Buffalo, and then the Colts. So I feel like we faced the toughest team, even though they were ranked 7. We played the toughest team besides Kansas City. So I feel like we start rolling after this 27-24 victory over the Colts, and I think this final score is going to be 31-10. Bills are going to frustrate Jackson. They're going to make him pass, and this is where we get 3+ turnovers and the Bills roll.
Damn.
Go Bills!
You saying picks or a fumble?
3+ turnovers.
Don't matter what they are now.
Mark
I
it
don't
down
care.
as what? You don't care? Okay, I was
I
just
don't
wondering
care
if
what
you had
they
a
are.
thought.
Yeah, we're going to 31-10.
Just
3+
get that
turnovers.
piggy. Just get that pigskin.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Get it.
Let's
Yep.
get it. Guy, Bills, Mafia, show up, be loud, make it hard for them. I don't know how hard you're going to make it for them, but let them know that you're there, and that's gonna add some confidence to that team. You know it is. It's gonna.
You see footage of that Diggs touchdown, and you can hear the
You
Mafia
hear
in the
'em.
crowd. They're loud.
Oh
They
yeah,
are
man. They
loud.
said it was loud there, and I believe it. It's a whole season's worth of
Scream.
angst just coming out.
Yeah, we shared a video from a Buffalo newscast that showed Diggs playing catch with the fans in the stadium.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, it's like playing catch with the old man. Thanks, man. But
Only-
that was, I know
Only he's
there's
in
other
his
players-
20s, and then he's the number 1 wide receiver in the league.
Right. Gosh, man. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to see. I know there's other players that do that throughout the NFL, but there's not many. And yeah, that's awesome. All right, fellas. You guys want to do a little bit of the pick'ems for the rest of the playoff games?
Yes, sir.
coming up week? Well, I think numbers aren't wrong this time, right, Swank?
No, they are perfect.
Of course not. I wonder why.
They're
Swank, you're in the
absolute-
leaderboard right now.
Oh, yes, I am.
Look at that. Scott's struggling. I'm right there in the middle.
Yeah, yes.
Give us your pick'ems. The first game is going to be the Bucks and the Saints. Who you got picking? Who you got winning that, viewers? And then I'm going to go with Swank first. Who do you have winning that?
Well, I gotta say the Saints. Not only because I want it, I just don't want Tom Brady to win anything anymore. I'm over it. So
Understandable.
Saints.
Did you guys see that image of they had Breeze and Brady next to each other?
Yeah.
The History Channel image.
Yeah. Tom Brady retweeted it, and then Breeze responded. And I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Regardless of your feelings about Brady, these are 2 great quarterbacks that are going to be facing
Sure.
each other.
Yeah,
And that's
2
gonna
Hall of
be great.
Famers, man.
So make sure you watch that. That's going to be something you don't get to see every week. You know, Scott, Bucks Saints.
It's playoff time, and Brady's playing. I think Bucks get the advantage. With the
Now, are you
Scopes.
picking the Bucks just so you are kind of losing in this season of pick'ems? So you're picking the Bucks to hopefully jinx them?
I'm just going because the Zebras are still reffing these games, and Brady's in a playoff game. So
Okay. Ooh, hit right there. Okay, next one. The Rams versus the Green Bay Packers. Actually, I should tell you, I picked the Saints too.
there you go.
Rams,
Can't make
Green
them
Bay
up afterwards.
Packers. I have Green Bay winning this game. Yeah, Green Bay over the Rams. Who do you got, Swank?
I'm with you, man. I say Green Bay. I think, as much as I hate to admit it, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. He had a hell of a season. And
You said it.
I think that the Rams defense is overrated, especially in the secondary department. I know that they're number 1 ranked. I just don't see it. I don't think Ramsey's all that great.
And I think
And
their stud defensive lineman, I think, has some cartilage issues. in
got
his
some
ribs
cracked
too.
ribs, yeah. So he I don't think that's going to stop him.
No.
He's he is absolutely 100% the most impressive guy that plays D-line, period. And I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
Ramsey, however, I see these other picks, like I do it with my heart, and that's why I end up losing later on. I just don't like Ramsey at all. So I'll talk junk and I'll say they're going to lose.
Okay.
That and
Scott?
Goff too, man. I hate Goff. He's arrogant.
He's got a great first name, though.
Jared,
Scott, what's
yeah.
up?
Marie, Lisa, Chris, and John all agree with me. I'm going Packers.
They agree with all of us then.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been not listening?
I don't listen to you guys.
Good pick, you guys. All right, Swank, I want you to lead this one. I know this kind of holds a close spot to your heart. Kansas City and Cleveland. Who you got winning that one?
Kansas City by 1 billion, dude. I saw, and actually I was gonna respond. I saw that I was under our group's identity, but somebody posted this thing about how Baker and Kareem Hunt had both said that they were really excited to get to Kansas City. Like, Hunt was ready to get back there because he thought that he got slighted by them and all this stuff. And Baker was like, yeah, he was running with purpose in Pittsburgh, and I think he just wanted to get to Kansas City. And the guy was like, that's all well and good, and he had a great game, but let's not forget why he left Kansas City and what he did. And it wasn't the Chiefs. And Andy Reid came out and said he wished him the best. Patrick Mahomes came out and said he's a great blowout player. We wish him the best. He kicked a girl, like, on camera, physically assaulted a female. And the Chiefs, out of every team that's been put in that position, kicked him out at the peak of his career. He was like the number 1 running back in the league, and they were like, you know what? We don't need you. You got to go.
It's good for them.
Awesome for them, man. And then you have the Browns. Who'd pick up every scumbag, loser.
I think assault has to be in their resume underneath how many years they went to college.
Yeah, man. Whatever. And I'm trying not to be, like, super salty about it. I was a, like, closet Browns rooter for a long time because
I too.
they mimicked us, man. And maybe someday again I will be, but between Baker, Landry, oh God.
Yeah, I mean, he ended Aaron Williams' career.
Yep. It's too much, and I don't like them, and I hope they get stomped out worse than they stomped out the Steelers. So, Chiefs. By 1 billion.
I have the Chiefs as well. Scott, who do you got?
Me and my brother Jared's first football memory of the Buffalo Bills were against the Cleveland Browns in 1989.
Wow.
We lost 34-30. Ronnie Harmon, corner of the end zone, dropped a touchdown pass. Thurman Thomas, 13 catches, 130 receiving yards. Crazy game, right?
You were in that when you were 8?
I want the AFC Championship to come to Buffalo. So I want the Cleveland Browns to win. And I want the Buffalo Bills to be the team that shuts them up.
That's the only reason that I could see it. Or be on board with it. And whatever, man, let the cards fall as they may. That would be awesome to host an AFC championship.
Mm-hmm.
If they win, you will not hear me, see me until September 1st of 2021 because I just wouldn't be able to deal with it. I think that I'll tell you this, out of if we win, I'd rather play the Chiefs. I wish it was at home, but I'd rather play the Chiefs.
I feel they are legit the best team, right? They're better than the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns have this wild card thing. Like the Chiefs, you know that they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna do, so you can game plan. I feel like a little bit better for the Chiefs, and they're just gonna do things that you won't be able to stop. The Browns, they're unpredictable, man. They're like,
and their defense is really good. I'd rather play the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, exactly. If it's going to get to a shootout, I'd rather do that. But we're not talking about that because we're talking about this week.
Right.
This week.
Right.
Buffalo Bills. First.
Cleveland, just because of the history with how I first started watching and the fact that I won the championship game here in Buffalo. Kansas City, because, they have the 2 best teams in the AFC, potentially the 2 best teams in the NFL playing each other would be sweet to watch. So I'm going Cleveland just because I want that, but I don't care either way. We got to win our game.
There you go. And that's the pick'ems. All right.
Is it? That's all of them?
That's it. Just 3 games besides ours. We all picked the Bills, so.
It's weird. I've never been in this position before. That
I've never been at the leaderboard. Can we keep going? All right. Scott, I'm going to lead with you. You have any closing thoughts for tonight's episode?
It's the further we get into it, the easier the response is enjoy the ride. It's been fun since week one. It's a divisional playoff game, one that we haven't seen since 1995, and we lost that divisional playoff game. I can't remember when the last time we won a divisional playoff game was.
It must be 1994.
Well, in 1996, Jim Kelly got hurt. Anyways, yes, divisional playoff game at home, 6,772. Be loud for us that can't. And it's a primetime game again. Join in on what are you drinking, what are you wearing. Show us your videos and comments. That on Saturday we'll have that video out, and just enjoy the whole process. Enjoy the whole day. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Mr. Swank.
Yeah, man. Ditto. You know, this is just an awesome time. We keep rehashing it every week, and I'm hoping that we'll be lucky enough to do a positive, awesome show like this again next Tuesday. I really want to throw this back to everybody that's been watching us and requesting the stickers and ordering the T-shirts and all that stuff, man. I was lucky enough to join these two guys in this venture, and it's been super fun. Don't cry. It's okay. You can go off camera if you need to, Jed. I don't know. It's awesome. It's awesome to see this much interaction, these many comments, and it makes it super worthwhile. So thank you very, very much. Also, don't forget that you can join in on the conversation every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. with Scott, Jarrod, and myself for 24/7 Buf Fandemonium, the K-Gun Report. You can also catch us on audio with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Anchor. And you can catch up on episodes on Facebook and YouTube as well.
Perfect, YouTube.
Good plug.
Yeah, we're on episode 24. I don't know if you guys probably don't know who we're watching, but this wasn't part of the plan for this year. We wanted to get the fan page going and just have fun with that. But we decided let's get the podcast going now. Pretty much what we are 3 football fans, Buffalo Bills fans. We've been talking Bills football since 15, 16 years ago at our local drinking hole. We get our drink and we go to the back patio and just talk Bills football. So this is something we just brought together. This is for the Fandemonium, you guys. So we love it when you participate. We love answering questions, getting you involved, and we're just the 3 guys that happen to be on the screen while we're doing it, and we enjoy it. What do you got there, Swanky? Little paps?
I think your brother's getting ready for a cheers is what it looks like.
Oh, okay. Again, thank you everybody for participating tonight. I want to thank everyone that's going to watch at a later time. It's awesome. Just a reminder, if you commented tonight, we're going to put your name on the wheel of fortune. I think that's a game show. Give it a twist, and we'll let everyone know who the winner of this Carlos Williams 8x10 glossy autograph is.
Get them in. You only got about a minute left.
PM us your address. We'll send these to you for free.
Right. Cheers to the playoff win, guys. Wild card weekend. It's on to the divisional.
Cheers,
Go
boys.
Bills. And we'll see you next week with a win.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.